So I made sure I wrote down everything that I wanted to cover so that I don't lose track. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see in the title of today's video, it's gonna be a what I eat in a day, basically healthy meals. I don't wanna say like to lose weight, but healthy meals. And I wanted to start this video off because this is not a serious topic for me, but it's a topic that means a lot to me. And the reason that this topic is, I guess I can say sensitive. I can use the word sensitive. It's a sensitive topic for me because it has taken me a very long time to get to the point that I can admit that I don't have the healthiest relationship with food. And it's kind of crazy to me because I mention it all the time, I'm not a picky person. I love basically anything. Almost any food you put in front of me, I will eat. I love vegetables. I don't have an issue eating greens. I don't have an issue eating fruits. I don't have an issue eating healthy fats. I love basically any food. I'm not picky, and I know that people that don't have the healthiest relationship with food, it's because they are so picky. They don't eat vegetables, or they don't like them. They don't like fruits. They only eat like things with no sauce, like just things like that. Most of the time, people that are pickier have a bigger issue with eating. And for me, that's never been the case. I've never been picky. If I go back to like my childhood, so my mother is a diabetic, and I think that has a lot to do with how she raised us and our like pickiness levels. I have 4 sisters total. I have a lot of girls in my family, and I also have a brother. And if I think, my older sisters are very picky. They're so picky, it's annoying. But my younger sister, my brother, and myself are not picky at all. My mom put food in front of us. My mom always plated our foods with a lot of vegetables, lots of fruit. My mom was not the type that just like made us grilled cheeses all the time. She was constantly feeding us fruits, vegetables, never making like a lot of fried foods, not a lot of red meat. Like my mom is a pretty, I don't want to say health conscious, but because of the fact that my mom had diabetes when she was pregnant with me. She had gestational diabetes, and she ended up getting diabetes later in life, and my grandmother is also diabetic. So my mom is just very conscious of her sugar levels because she has to, because of her health, and just different things like that. But even before my mom was diagnosed with diabetes, my mom's always been very, very healthy. My dad, not so much. My dad eats like a typical Puerto Rican, Caribbean dude. Fried food, he loves his rice and his beans. But my mom has always, every time she would cook dinner, she makes him his food, and you will always see her plate with zucchini and broccoli and spinach and avocado and tomatoes. My mom's just very healthy overall. Like she's super, super healthy. So I never grew up being a picky eater because my mom never gave us the option of being picky. She was always like, you're not gonna say you don't like something if you've never tried it. Or, you know, she'd trick us and cut up spinach and make a huge salad and give us the salad. And once we finished eating it, she'd be like, oh, just so you know, you just had spinach. Because we'd always say that we didn't like spinach. So my mom just opened up that window for at least my younger sister and my brother and I to not look at food and judge it before we eat it. So that's basically how I've always lived my life. Like I eat everything. It's, again, very, very rare that I won't eat something. The only thing that I'm a little weird of eating is like different meats. I'm not a huge meat eater. I like chicken. I love seafood, turkey. I'm not a huge red meat eater, and I think it's because my mother never really made that. She'd make, you know, steak every once in a while, but it's just not something that was ever really in my diet, so I never really ate it that often. Granted, you know, if you give me a steak taco, I'm gonna eat it, or, you know, a taco bowl with ground beef, I'm gonna eat it. But it's just not something that I typically choose because it's not something that I ever really ate that often, because my mom was always trying to make sure, you know, cholesterol levels and things like that were good. So throughout my adult life, it's always been very easy to make the decision to choose healthier foods because that's kind of what I was exposed to from a pretty young age. Me and my sister, we love healthy foods. You can give me a bowl of vegetables with some seasoning and I am happy. I love veggies, I love fruits, I love all that stuff. But I noticed that the older that I got, especially closer to 30, I'm gonna be 31 this year. The closer I got to 30, I noticed obviously my metabolism slowing way down. Before, I could eat anything I wanted. I know that That's a pretty common thing with most of us. We could eat whatever we wanted, we never gained anything, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't until I started hitting my late 20s that I noticed that I was gaining weight, and I'm not at all trying to say that I'm fat or anything like that, but for my height, I am 5'3.5", and a healthy weight to stay under for me is 150. The biggest that I ever got was 161, and that was about 2 years ago. And that's when I was like, oh my God, like I had gone to the doctor, I was weighed, and then I looked at my weight, and it like really put things into perspective for me. And I was like, I am only 5'3.5". I'm under 5'4". I should not be 161 pounds. Granted, I carry my weight very evenly, so like my boobs were even bigger. I'm a 32D, so I'm already pretty busty. My boobs were like flopping out of all of my bras. None of my jeans fit me, and I gained my weight in like my like the tire area of your belly, like the lower belly, my hips, and my thighs. None of my jeans would go up my thighs. I had to buy new everything. If it didn't have stretch in it, I couldn't wear it. It was just a pain. From there, I started, that just kind of like triggered me and made me really, really scared of food. Can't even say that that's what it was before, but now looking back, that whole thing of how much weight I had gained really, really, really hit me, and it made me terrified of all the foods that make you gain weight. Rices, pastas, breads, sugars, things like that. I was so scared of them. So from about 27 years old, like I said, I'm gonna be 31. So from around 27 years old till basically a couple of months ago, I started dieting, or I started eating in a way that I was restricting myself completely. You guys have seen on my channel how many times have I gone in and out of doing keto, or how many times have I done low carb, or how many times have I done all these different ways of eating that were restricting. And mind you, I lost weight. When I was on keto, I dropped down to like 139 pounds. I was so happy because I felt so good. I was, you know, smaller than I'd been in years, and this was just a couple of months ago. This was in like August, September of 2020. I felt so good. I was so proud of myself. But the horror that I had about even putting bread in my mouth, of eating rice, of anything that had carbs in it, because keto obviously restricts you of carbs, I was terrified. I did not want bread near me. I didn't want to go out to eat because I'd be terrified that they were going to bring the bowl of bread with butter to the table. I was just so scared of eating those things, of eating noodles, of eating potatoes, things like that. And mind you, like, I love all of these things. The same way I love vegetables and fruits, I love oatmeal, I love rice, I love pasta, I love bread, any type of bread. It wasn't until I made the goal for myself of 2021, I wrote down, and I literally have it on the day before New Year's, it was January 30th. I said that I wanted to eat healthier with no restricted diets. I said this, it's dated 1/1. So this was, I wrote this down on New Year's. Eat healthier, no restricted diets. That was one of the first, that was the 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth thing on my list of what I wanted to change throughout the year. I also made my word of the year. I always choose a word, and this year it was intention. I wanted everything that I do to be done with intention. Everything behind what I do to have intention behind it. I want to work out because my body deserves to move. I want to go on walks because my mind needs to be outside. I wanted to eat healthier because I know those are the right things to actually eat. I know that vegetables are good for me. I know that fruits have all these amazing benefits with antioxidants and, you know, vitamins and just all these things that I already knew I wanted to implement back in my life because of how terrified I was of gaining weight. It's the middle of February, and just from January to the beginning of February, I have gone back multiple times like, no, I need to go back on keto. No, I need to go back on keto. I'm not losing weight. And it's just been such a challenge that I did not realize that I had until I watched this YouTube video, which I'll leave her video down below. This girl that randomly popped up on like my what you should watch or recommended watches. And it was a girl, it was a video that said why French women don't gain weight. And I don't know what it was, but it intrigued me so much. I don't know if it's because I've been to Europe, and when I ate in Europe, I didn't gain a pound. Tyler actually lost weight when we went to Europe. And I know most of it has to do with how processed our foods are in America, how just our eating habits are terrible in the United States. So I randomly clicked on her video and I'm starting to watch her videos, and everything that she said put things into perspective for me in a way that it was more scientific and psychological instead of what you should do to lose weight. Her video had nothing to do with losing weight. It had nothing to do with what to eat. It wasn't a weight loss video. It wasn't anything like that. She was a nutritionist and she went to school here in the United States and was basically talking about her observations, her studies, all that stuff. When I watched her video, I don't know what, the way that she worded everything was so much of like a, what have you been doing all these last couple of years? So after I watched her video, I had mentioned before in videos that I'm writing down all of my meals. I'm planning out my meals just to keep myself on track, to make sure I'm actually eating my food in my house, to save money on going out to eat all the time or last minute like Uber Eats or anything like that. Again, I'm trying to do everything with intention. So I'm gonna leave her video linked down below because watching her video and watching all the rest of her videos put things into perspective for me on how unhealthy my relationship is with food. Being scared to eat certain foods because certain foods make you fat, being scared to eat rice, being scared to eat pastas, being scared to have desserts, being scared to go out to eat because I'm like, oh my God, make the healthier choice. When everyone around me is eating delicious pasta and sushi and all this stuff, I was so tired of this habit and I needed to break it. I needed to do everything that I could to change my mindset because that's all it was. It was my mind. My mind was convincing me that I could not eat breads, pastas, ice cream. I couldn't eat all these things. Once I watched that video, I was like, what have I been doing this whole time? So basically what I've been doing to fix it, which you'll see in this video, is the number one thing. And it sounds so cheesy, but even if I say it in a joking way, I say every single day, I have a healthy relationship with food. I say it in my group chat with the girls. I say it to myself. I say it to Tyler. I say it to my sister. I've even had Tyler repeat it back to me when I'm serving myself and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited to eat rice. He's like, you should be because you have a healthy relationship with food. I have made it a point to say that every single day, multiple times a day, because I want to tell myself and I want to believe that I don't need to restrict myself. I don't need to cut out anything because I have such a healthy relationship with what I'm eating and I'm listening to my body that I'm gonna be healthy and I'm not gonna sit there and worry about if my jeans fit or what I'm gaining if I eat a half a cup of rice or whatever. So that's been the number one thing that I've been doing. I say it every single day, multiple times a day. As I'm eating my food, I'm like, oh my God, this food is so good. I love oatmeal or I love pasta and I'm so glad that I can enjoy this because I have a healthy relationship with food. I make sure I am preaching this because I know that it has been my mindset all along. It has been my, well, if I'm gonna make Tyler rice, I need to make sure that I eat something really filling that's low carb because if not, I'm gonna want that rice. It almost like disgusts me that I thought like that for such a long time, like so long. Also, something that I watched in her video is listening to my hunger cues. So I've done intermittent fasting and I actually love intermittent fasting because it's kind of like listening to your hunger cues. I don't eat right when I wake up. I just wait till I'm hungry and I listen to it. I notice, okay, am I kind of hungry right now? Am I like ready to shove food in my mouth hungry? Am I like, what kind of hungry am I right now? Right now it is 11:18 and I'm kind of starting to get hungry. I always get hungry right before 12 o'clock. So I know that. I'm not telling myself you can't eat till 12. I'm just saying, like, if you're not hungry in the morning, don't eat. Don't eat. Don't force yourself to eat if you're not actually hungry. And then when I eat, I am thinking about what vegetables can I include in my meal. If I'm gonna have a breakfast burrito on like a low carb tortilla, I do still eat like tons of low carb things because I like them. It's not because I'm restricting myself. I don't mind eating low carb tortillas. I don't mind eating low carb breads. I don't mind it. So if I'm gonna eat a breakfast burrito on a low carb tortilla, I'm like, okay, I need to add as many vegetables as I possibly can to this low carb burrito. I'll add peppers, I'll add onions, I'll add spinach, I'll add anything that I can to fill it up to make sure that every single meal that I'm eating has as much vitamin, nutrient content as I possibly can. I am always conscious of filling my plate with really, really delicious vegetables. And I love vegetables, like I said. Broccoli, Brussels sprouts, green beans, bell peppers, green onions. I like it all. Give it to me and I'm gonna eat it no matter what. So I've just been making sure that I'm eating until I am not hungry anymore. I don't eat anymore until I'm like, can't breathe. I eat until I'm like, I'm good. This was satisfying. I'm good. I'm not full. And I'm actually going to show you guys something really quickly that I don't know why I didn't process sooner. I literally have to pull this out because I just, again, just like things that didn't really process to me are now making so much sense. So this is like a regular plate, right? A regular dinner plate, a regular serving plate. This is kind of like what you would put on top of it. We use this, I use this if I'm eating something like small, like a snack or bananas or something like that. This is what your serving should actually look like. This whole, like, I don't know if you guys can, yeah, you guys can see the ring that's right here. This is all supposed to be like decoration. It's supposed to be where they swerve, like where they, when you go out to eat, where they put like the sauces. You are only supposed to fill this part of your plate. So what I've been doing lately, instead of using this to eat, because I'm always like before thinking like, okay, fill up half of my plate with vegetables and then a little bit of carbs and then a little bit of meat or protein or whatever. Now I take this plate and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna fill this plate up. I'm gonna fill it with rice and vegetables and broccoli and chicken or ground turkey or my scrambled eggs or whatever it is that I'm eating. I fill this plate up. And I eat off of this plate. And once I'm done eating off this plate, I think, I'm like, am I still hungry? Nope. I'm never still hungry after I eat off of this little plate. And it's made me realize how off my portions were before. Like, I'm not restricting myself. Last night I made a chicken stir fry and it was freaking delicious. I had chicken, bell peppers, onions. I made a little sauce, spinach, all that stuff. And then I had brown rice. My plate was full. I ate that and I was like, wow, I am so satisfied. I didn't want more food. I didn't want anything like that. I actually ate my food. I processed what I was eating. I was drinking my water in between and I was like, that was good. That was satisfying. I wasn't overly full. I didn't feel like I was gonna bust out of my pants. I felt good. And that has been something that has been such an eye-opener for me because my whole life I've eaten off of something like this and filled this plate all the way. Now, eating on something like this, I'm actually paying attention to what I'm eating and how much of it I'm eating without even, I'm not counting macros, I'm not doing anything like that. I do make sure that I'm not eating like a crazy amount of calories, but now that I'm working out, I'm burning between 400 and 700 calories every single time I work out, so I need to like replenish those calories. But eating on this has I challenge you. If there's anything you're gonna do, if you're like, I'm not changing the way that I eat on this size plate. This is like the little, like the plate that is the size of this. Eat on this. Fill your plate with whatever it is that you're eating, whether it's rice, whether it's pasta. Fill your plate with this and you are going to be mind blown as you're actually thinking about and listening to your body and processing the way that you're eating. Another thing that I am practicing is not depriving myself at all. No deprivation. We went out to have sushi the other day and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm eating sushi. That's how bad my mentality was, that I was even scared to eat freaking sushi because of the rice that was on the outside of it. Like, and it's so crazy to think about because so many women are like this. We are so trained to be like, I can't gain weight. I have to look cute in my bathing suit. I can't gain weight. I can't gain weight. And my whole intention on eating healthier and starting to exercise, I told myself, if you always make it about the way that you look, you're never gonna be able to stick to it because you always know you could do a crash diet or some intense, you know, depriving diet to lose those pounds. If you just make it about fueling your body with food that you know is healthy for you and exercising because you know that it's healthy for you, you will never have to worry about looking good in your bathing suit because it'll kind of all work itself out. Another thing that I've done is eating as much real food as I possibly can, less processed, not drowning everything in cheeses or sauces, as many vegetables as possible. One thing that I like to make, and I mention it in this What I Eat in a Day, I make a massive thing of cut up sweet potato, cut up zucchini, bell peppers, onions, any vegetables that I have. I make a massive serving of it. I store it in a big Tupperware and throughout the week, I just take a little thing and I eat that throughout the week almost every single day, sometimes with my breakfast, sometimes with my dinner, sometimes with my lunch. I am constantly making sure that vegetables are a part of my everyday diet. The same thing with fruits. I was even scared to eat fruits because keto made me scared of bananas. It made me scared of apples. It made me scared of pineapple because of how high the sugar content was. Granted, yes, they are higher in sugars, but it's not something that I'm eating all day, every day to where I'm like, okay, maybe you need to slow down. Like, slow down on the sugar. If I eat a banana, I'm eating half the banana in my oatmeal with a couple strawberries. If I'm eating blueberries, I'm eating a handful with my breakfast, or maybe a cup of strawberries and blueberries after I finish eating dinner because I want something sweet. I am trying my hardest to make the conscious effort of replacing what I would eat if I wanted dessert. I'm still eating dessert, don't get me wrong. I am eating, the other day I had 2 Publix cookies and I was like, I love these cookies and I can eat these because I have a healthy relationship with the food that I'm eating. I ate the cookies, and once I ate the cookies, I was like, that was satisfying. And I didn't feel the need to constantly force myself to deprive, which causes me to binge. I binge eat like no other when I am on restrictive diets because I'm depriving myself non-stop, and I'm not doing that anymore. The last thing that I'm doing is just, I'm not counting my macros. And the reason that I'm not doing that, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. I know that that's a very good way to stay on track, but I am fixing my mentality on food before I even start to include numbers in there. I know that if I start counting macros and measuring everything and doing this and doing that, I'm gonna go back into that cycle. So the only thing that I'm doing is measuring portions. So like, the other day I made myself Cajun chicken pasta, and oh my God, it was so good. But I was like, okay, I have red lentil pasta. Let me use my red lentil pasta instead of regular white pasta. I looked at the thing and it said it was, I think, like 56 grams for a serving. Cool. I measured out 56 grams on my little food scale. I looked at it and I'm like, oh, that's not very much. Once they expanded and I added my chicken and my vegetables and everything that I needed to add to it, and I threw it in my bowl and I ate it, I was like, that was more than enough food. Like, I was actually full from that serving. So I am conscious of my servings. Same thing with my oatmeal. It says a serving is half a cup of oatmeal, like half a cup of oats to a cup of milk or water. I use my almond milk. Again, I'm trying to be conscious of making better choices. Dairy, just like milk, screws my stomach up. Like, I get really, really bad stomach aches. So I just use almond milk with my coffee in the mornings. I like my coffee creamy and delicious. I don't want to sacrifice that, but I found an oat milk creamer that is bomb. It's so good. So I'm like, perfect. I don't need to add sugar to it. I don't have to add anything to it. It's already perfect the way that it is. It's just thinking this way and changing this mentality has changed. I started doing this about 2 weeks ago, and I started exercising about a month ago. It has changed everything. I am not, there's something else that I'm trying to work on, and it's not weighing myself so often, because you are not supposed to rapidly lose weight. It's not healthy for your body, and if you lose it super fast, you're gonna gain it back super fast. So I am just focusing on feeling really good. I've weighed myself like 3 times already this week, and it's only Thursday. So it's something that I'm really working on, because my weight should not matter. My weight has nothing to do with how healthy I am. It has nothing to do with what size my clothes are. It has nothing to do with if I'm exercising or not. I am just focusing on being healthy and moving my body, because I know it's something that with age, I need to make sure that I still stay healthy. I don't even have kids yet. So it's like, I want to make sure that I'm in such a good mental state with eating and food and all these things before I get pregnant, before my body's going to change so drastically once I have a child, after I have a child. So it's like, I'm trying to really fix my mind, because it's something that I've really, really, really struggled with silently. I've never said the words out loud, I have an unhealthy relationship with food, until like the beginning of February. And me saying it out loud, I was like, wow, like, I have an unhealthy relationship with food. Like, I'm scared of foods. And I'm no longer saying this is bad for me, this is good for me. I'm no longer saying this is gonna make me fat, this is gonna make me skinny. I am just eating the things that I know are good for me, but I'm also eating sushi on the weekend, and I'm having a glass of wine if I want it, and I'm making sure I'm drinking so much more water, and I'm making sure that I exercise. Even if I don't go to the gym, getting my butt up and walking for an hour, like any little thing that I know is helping my body, not thinking about the way that it looks, just thinking really about treating my body the way it deserves to be treated, not stuffing pounds of crap into my body. Like, it's something that I'm really, really, really trying to make it a part of my daily life. And I really wanted to talk about this before the what I eat in a day, because I'm tired of restricting myself. I'm tired of not eating carbs because they make me fat. I'm tired of it. And I know so many of us struggle with this. And I just wanted to mention that before the what I eat in a day. So this is 26 minutes. I have a lot to edit. So I hope you guys enjoy this, what I eat in a day. Please let me know if you guys want me to do more, because it's something now that I'm finding myself very passionate about. So I'll continue doing them as long as you guys love them. If you're someone like me that has struggled with having a really unhealthy relationship with food, I hope this at least begins to make you question your mindset and how badly you've been talking to your body, because that's something that I've done. I'm so ashamed at how badly I've spoken to my body, where I gained my weight, my love handles, my hips. I haven't appreciated the body that I have. And mind you, like, I'm not even fat. Like, I'm not. And I've always viewed myself as, you better not get fat, girl. You don't be the fat friend. Like, it's just so disgusting. And I'm honestly pretty ashamed that I was like that on myself for such a long time. But I'm done with it. I'm not doing that to myself anymore. I will leave that girl's video linked down below. If you watch one of her videos, I promise you, you'll end up trickling into other videos and seeing other ones of how to, like, she has videos on how to change your mindset on food, how to listen to your hunger cues, all of the things that are more psychological, nothing having to do with dieting whatsoever. So I hope you guys enjoy my what I eat in a day. So this vlog or video initially started off as like a day in my life working from home, and then it very quickly turned into a what I eat in the day. So normally every single morning, I'm just gonna walk you through my day, I guess, and then walk you through my meals. Every single day, no matter what, I always start my day off by making my bed. Even if I'm just making it quickly, fluffing the pillows and throwing the blanket back over, I always make sure to make my bed, open my blinds. I thrive with a lot of sunlight, so I have to make sure that all of that is nice and open. And then I usually go into the living room, just because towards the end of the evening, me and Tyler are like lounging on the couch, snacking on stuff. Tyler's usually like sometimes plays video games, sometimes we watch a movie, so the pillows end up getting thrown around because we lay on them, and then the blankets everywhere, and then there's, as you can see, headphones and just random stuff all over the table. And I also need to just be in a very tidy space. Doesn't need to be completely clean, but I can't work in a space with a lot of clutter. It just drives me insane. So that's always the beginning part of my day. Then I always come into the kitchen, and I have this candle here that I got from Bath & Body Works. I've purchased this candle multiple times. It's called Paris Cafe, and it makes your entire house smell like a coffee shop. The reason that I like to burn this is because I'm very inspired by my surroundings. So whenever I have my coffee scented candle on, when I'm making my coffee, it kind of makes me feel like I'm not just sitting at home. So I'll go ahead and make my coffee. I always have a playlist going of lo-fi, which is the music that you hear now in the background. I just search lo-fi coffee shop or lo-fi jazz or lo-fi chill, and that's what I listen to basically throughout the entire day while I'm working. When I'm making my coffee, when I'm eating my lunch, like I said, I'm very inspired, and my mood changes a lot based on what's around me, the sounds, the smells. So I always like to make sure that I just have a really good ambiance going, because I thrive off of that. I always start my day with a huge cup. As you can see, this is like a reusable Starbucks venti cup. I fill that up with water, and I like to squeeze lemon while my coffee is going. Today I'm making iced coffee. In the summer, I'm an iced coffee type of girl, so I'll leave these glasses down below because I always get questions on them. I got them on Amazon. I use the oat milk creamer, which is my favorite, and I brew up a couple shots of espresso because that's a lot of espresso. Mix it all up, and then I start basically my work for the day with my huge cup of water and my cute little cup of iced coffee. Then starting off with my first meal of the day, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I don't really go based on time. I just wait until I'm actually hungry. I don't just eat to eat. So for this morning, I was making a slice of avocado toast, and I'm pulling out the Dave's Killer bread, and this is the good seed type of bread. It's a really good bread for you. It's not just regular like white bread, but if that's what you like, then just eat whatever you like. And I also wanted to make a runny egg on top just for a little bit of protein, a little bit more filling. So I start making my egg, and as the egg is cooking, I just go in and, mash up my avocado, get all my toppings and all that good stuff. So I like to cook my egg in this butter here. I'm trying to remember the name of it, and I can't think of it right now. Earth Balance, that's what it's called. The Earth Balance butter. It is a vegan butter. I am not vegan, and I am not, plant-based or anything like that, but anywhere that I can just improve or be healthier, I do. So I took about a tablespoon of it, and I'm using that to cook my egg in. And then once I put my egg in there, I put a little bit of everything but the bagel seasoning, just to give my egg, a little bit of flavor. And you guys already know, if you've been watching me for a while, I love my hot sauce. So I'm just drizzling this hot sauce. I picked it up at, I think, Home Goods randomly, and it's really good. I really like it. And now I kind of wanted to show my eating, because I've just been trying to research and do, look up as much information as I can about like the healthy way of eating, like the actual act of eating. And obviously this is sped up, but I take my time, I chew my food, I'm listening to when my body's actually full versus just eating to finish my plate. Granted, this isn't a huge portion, it's just one slice of bread, but the food was very filling because I had healthy fat in there, I had the protein from the egg, and then the carbs from the bread. Constantly sipping on my water just to make sure that I'm, keeping hydrated and all that good stuff. But I'm really learning to take my time when I eat and just be mindful when I'm eating, listen to when I'm actually not hungry anymore, and stop when I'm not hungry. It's really been changing everything about the way that I view food, because I eat until I see that my body no longer is needing food or craving food or growling or anything like that. For lunch, I wanted to make oatmeal, and I have also been trying to teach myself really healthy ways of making things that I love to eat, which has been a game changer. So I'm here using these rolled oats from Whole Foods. Obviously, you can get them anywhere. And I did half a cup of oats to 1 cup of unsweetened vanilla almond milk. And I just let that obviously boil up and cook and get all delicious as I'm getting all of my other ingredients ready. I like to add a pinch of salt. It really helps bring out the flavor. You'd be surprised at what a little bit of salt will do. Here I am going to start getting my fruits ready. So I'm using half of a banana. I always just save the other half in the fridge. And I like to slice my banana really, really thin, because I feel like it kind of like softens up when I put it on top of the hot oatmeal, and it feels like, I don't know, it has like this delicious creaminess to it. It's so, so, so good. So I like to chop my banana very finely, and then I go in with my strawberries. I'll normally do a handful of strawberries, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, just depends on what my mood is. And I like to chop those very, very, very thinly as well, just because I like to get lots of fruit in each bite of my yogurt, or not my yogurt, my oatmeal, sorry. That helps a lot is adding a little bit of syrup. Don't mind, my landlord was in the background. There's some fixing going on in the house, so he just walked into the kitchen to check on something, and he was there. But I like to take this natural peanut butter, throw it in there. This is I can't remember which brand it is, but any peanut butter, whatever peanut butter you like, and adding maple syrup to your oatmeal is a game changer. I use a sugar-free syrup just because that's what I have, so I'm just going to use that up until I'm done with it. Then I take these delicious toasted coconut chips. These are so addicting. I buy them at Target. And then I also like to do pieces of like almond slivers. So I take those just because I like that they're small enough that you can just like scoop them up into your serving when you're gonna put it in your mouth instead of just a big chunk of almond. But it ends up so good, so creamy, so delicious. I love it. Okay, so last meal of the day is dinner. What time is it? We normally don't eat dinner this late. I'm normally like done with dinner by like 7 and it's 7:30 and I haven't even started. But thankfully it's gonna be a super easy dinner. I already have it prepped. I took out salmon earlier. I let it defrost and I seasoned it with the Trader Joe's onion salt. This right here, this is like a staple for me. So here's the salmon. It's 2 pieces, one for me, one for Tyler, and I'm gonna make it with rice for Tyler. Huh? Oh, I thought you were talking to me. A sweet potato like mix that I made yesterday so that I can just like scoop that, which is one of my favorite things that I do now. I make like a massive batch of vegetables and then throughout the week I just scoop it and all I have to do is reheat it and it's like ready to go. So this is gonna be super easy and super simple. There's not gonna be much like instruction on it, to be honest, because the salmon is already seasoned. I just used that seasoning. The rice is pre-done and so is the sweet potato. So I'm just gonna show you guys what it'll end up looking like basically. So I'm eating a couple of these while I wait for dinner. The salmon's in there. These are so good. It sucks because this is a very expensive bag, but so worth it. I would rebuy over and over and over again. These are the little macros on it if you're someone that's tracking that. I am not tracking really anything right now. I'm just worrying about eating foods that are good for me. There's dark chocolate, almonds, and there's powder like the PB2. So I'm eating just a couple of these. I'm not trying to eat too many because I don't want to get full, but waiting for that to finish and then I'm gonna heat everything up. Alright, so that's pretty much it. I got my little sweet potato mixture. Tyler's already chomping away with his rice. I'm just gonna add this hot sauce. I got it for Christmas in like a pack. Not sure how spicy it is. It says extra hot, but yeah, it had this label on it. So I guess we'll see. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. All these meals were absolutely delicious. So if you make any of them, please let me know. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.